Super Paper Mario, one of the most underrated Mario RPGs of all time. I mean, Super Paper Mario. We all know this game. The first one in this series to really change up its gameplay style, and unlike Sticker Star, not screw it up, so that's a good sign, obviously. I really do think people really do like this game. It's more of a split opinion, but overall, I think this is a really good game. So let's get into why we're going with paper once again, and why we need to keep putting super in the title every 5 minutes.
Of course, we start off with your typical setting of Luigi and Mario at home, doing their whole shtick, having a good old day, it's a great time for them. They go to the castle because Peach got kidnapped by this new villain, Count Bleck, who has very interesting motives, trust me. We'll get to that more when we get to the story segment later, but just know he's a much more threatening bad guy than you must think. And then we have him flipped town by this stage named Merlin, essentially, a safe space for essentially everyone here. We got to get back the 8 heart pillars in order to, I guess, restore the balance to the universe, essentially. It takes like 30 minutes to get to the first level, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. It takes a while, okay? And yeah, one thing people will notice that this is not an RPG. It's a regular 2D/3D platformer, essentially, which isn't a bad idea because I don't think every single game in a series needs to be exactly the same. But later on, when we get to this house here, this is a good amount of part of the stage, you finally get the power to transform the 3D and 2D planes of existence, essentially. Hence the main hype point of the video. Now, I don't think that's like a bad thing, essentially, but I do think you get this game controls relatively really good, This is a game of motion controls. Remember, this is made in 2007. Every game in the mid-2000s had to have motion controls for some reason. But just because it's not an RPG doesn't necessarily is bad. Now, unlike Sticker Star, which changed it up way too much, Super Paper Mario did a much better job of it. It's very enjoyable just jumping on enemies and throwing them. It's very nice. And also, you get to play with other characters. The only other Paper Mario game you can actually play with other characters, including Mario, Bowser, Peach, and Luigi. Yes, you can play as Luigi. The only Paper Mario game in the series you can play as Luigi. Near the end, but you can still play as Luigi nonetheless, and I think that counts for something. And all the characters have their own unique gameplay styles you expect. Mario smiles a bunch, while the only one to flip in 2D and 3D. Peach can float, Bowser the tank deal mass damage, and Luigi can jump high, even with his floaty and slippery abilities. It's very nice that they do have the original attributes that we all expect to come and play over the years of many, and I mean many other Paper Mario games. I like it. The mechanics are very simple, but they don't get too hard or frustrating. That's the important part. Easy to learn. You gotta love those easy to learn to control things. Remember that later. It's gonna be an entire plot point later when we actually get to how, just going through every level just makes sense. It's very easy to get through them. And I like the themes of every level. All the themes of every level is much more unique, like, say, in 3D Land, to keep things a lot more fresh, so not every level is the same. It doesn't mean exactly everything about levels is enjoyable, though. Trying to grind out rupees in that one level in the mansion is kind of lame because it takes forever unless you get a password just to find a bunch in the vault and beat the level very easily. And speaking of the story being very good, you have to wait until like halfway through chapter 2 to have the story to even start getting interesting. It takes a little bit while to actually, get up there for the story to actually start getting, good. Because Paper Mario games. And speaking of bosses, oh my god, every boss is definitely something else. Because one of them is an actual dragon. Or Sandler, I don't know. And of course the story. It might be one of the most crazy Mario stories of all time because of Count Bleck and Tippy. Because in their previous life, they were lovers, but they were separated because of, probably reasons. So Count Bleck wants to destroy the entire world because if no one else can have happiness, if he can't have happiness, no one else can. And then a dimension actually gets destroyed, and Mario literally dies. Not a one-up. He's actually dead at one point. The story, as you go on and on, just keeps ramping up to more craziness and so much good writing. Wow, the story just keeps going up. It's insane just how much this story goes on for. That's just amazing. And after trekking your way through the most confusing castle I've ever seen in any Mario game ever, because, RPGs have to be confusing like that sometimes, you finally get the final boss, Count Bleck. I know, you've been saving up all your time just getting to this final boss, and you finally get to pay up after one of the most crazy stories of all time. He uses a pure heart somebody to create a force field. He's not exactly that hard, but it's one of those fights where you will get hit at some point, maybe by an unexpected attack. You never know. Remember to pay your airfare that way. And Dementio is the actual true final boss, where he fuses up with Luigi to create the actual final boss of the game. Don't worry, you get healed after a while, so it's not that bad, like actual healthcare. The actual final boss isn't really that hard when you think about it. Just use Bowser and carry, and this fight is pretty easy, honestly. Holy cow, it's still pretty easy, honestly. And don't worry, Luigi's fine after all that, don't worry. After all that, one of the most heartbreaking goodbyes in any Mario game happens. Count Bleck and Tippy sacrifice themselves to help save the world and finally be together in our life. But after that, don't worry, we finally beat the game because everything is good and dandy in the end. And the black hole also slowly disappears. What about side content? You got some cards you can buy, collectible cards you can pick up in the field, the Pokemon Trials, the tournament you can go back to. Yeah, for side content, there's not much after that, but this game is still very amazing, and I recommend playing it through and through. Please go to Mario Meme.
And that was Super Paper Mario. Like I said, this game is pretty underrated. Now, it's just because it has a different game to play, it doesn't make it as bad as Thousand Year Door. I say that the story is probably a little bit better than Thousand Year Door. Of course, Thousand Year Door is probably better because I don't say that. Everyone in Paper Mario is going to be like, what? But still, I still like this game for my first Paper Mario game, and it's going to be amazing. I'll see you next time with Yu-Gi-Oh! Dying to Pokemon video. See you next time. See ya.